morning, Stuart.
Oh, good morning, Dougie. How you going, mate?
Oh, mate, a bit cool.
It's very cold, as you can tell by the...
Long pants on, no pants tough.
I never wear long pants, but I do today.
And shoes.
And shoes.
Dogs. Okay, Stuart, what are we doing, mate?
Mate, we're going to the seaway to chase some blackfish. So we've already collected a bit of weed at the secret spot. And we'll see how we go. Hopefully we get a few downs and catch a few blackfish.
Let's say you get downs when you're on the weed, right? So we'll see how we go,
Where do we go there, Stu? You got a...
I've got a beautiful Luderick.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Do you want the net, Stu?
Yes, please, mate. That would probably be better.
Well, Stu's finally got one. You can see one down there. That's mine.
Yeah, whatever. Here we go. Oh, that's not nice.
There we go, Stu. He's a bit smaller than mine, mate, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, it is a little bit smaller. I will give you this one, Doug, but there's plenty of time left.
Oh, that hook. Let's see how Stu ties his hooks on there.
The leader, actually. Sabotage.
Stu,
Sabotage.
you can use all the excuses you want. Hang on, let's measure mine against yours, Stu. Oh, yeah.
They're actually very similar.
No, mine's actually bigger.
Mine's actually about 8 inches.
Yours is like the grandson.
We're here at the Gold Coast Seaway. We've got a beautiful blackfish, and as you can tell, it's that time of year, and it's very cold, but they're on the chew. And Dougie's one's on the ground, it's bigger. I'll admit it.
Woo! I'll hold mine in a minute, Stu. Put that little one back, please, mate. And Dougie's on again. How you going there, Stu?
Please drag to make it sound bigger, mate.
I don't know if I got the biggest so far, but I've also got the most, which is the usual of our fishing, Stu. Great fun on light line, these fish. I just love it. I've been blackfish fishing since I was about 10 years old down Labrador on the jetty and the fishboard jetty back in Essential Street back in the day. And 40 years later, I haven't lost my touch.
Oh.
I guess I was thinking about coming up for the shot now, Stewie. Thank you, Stuart. I know your float's under the water, Stu. Oh,
That's sabotage there.
that's not sabotage. That's called lack of experience. Stu, I noticed what happened was you took a picture of yours on the brag mat after I threw my big one back in the water, and now you've sort of hidden the brag mat away. Stu gets the biggest one of the day.
Nothing's changed.
Well, I happen to have found the brag mat. Just check this baby out. Baby's probably what the word is for it. Sabotage. Did you guys see that? Did you see that? You would have seen that on camera.
Oh, mate.
This is what happens when you get people who are under the pump because they're losing. The pressure comes on.
You wouldn't believe it. I think I've got to cut your one, Doug.
I actually would believe it, Stuart. We might take a cut here and get into this with a pair of scissors. You got it? Okay. See where we go wrong straight away with your weed there, mate. I don't want to say too much, but the way it's put on the hook there sort of speaks for itself. Oh, nice.
Nice, mate. Just gonna...
Oh, had him. Had him. Fell off, Stu. Fell off, mate. Get him, Stu? Nice, mate. Oh, competition's hotting up. Got the net ready for you, Stu.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Oh, Stewie, lead him to the net, will you? Gee whiz. There we go, mate. We're just getting up close to my 43.
Have you?
Not quite, but we're getting close. Or 44, actually, it was, sorry.
Hi, Douglas Stackerwell here with Stuart Grice. How you going, Stu?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Mate. So we're going to talk about, we went recently black brim fishing.
We did. Something different. It's a bit
Luderick is their name.
Blast from the past.
Yeah,
they are
that's
different
right.
to a black brim.
They
They're
are.
a Luderick. They are a
Luderick, yes.
unique fish.
Yeah, blackfish or Luderick. And anyhow, we want to talk to you about the gear that we used. You will see us catching the fish, a couple of fish here and there along the seaway wall here on the Gold Coast, but it's the same application anywhere, Stuart, along the
Yeah, it is.
East Coast. So
Yeah.
you get them probably as far north as near, maybe say Harvey Bay,
Yeah.
and then south right down to south of Sydney. So there are popular rockfish species around bridges, man-made rock wall structures,
Yeah.
and retaining walls.
You just need a bit of structure, tidal flow, preferably some clean water, and you're laughing.
That's it.
They're going to be everywhere.
Yeah, so you might have seen on the video, which we're going to present to you, how we did it, and this is the gear that we used for it. So the rod I used on the day was just this little spin rod here. It's a very light rod. You can see the tip here.
Yeah. So it's like a whiting rod, very soft.
Very soft, and it's about 7 foot long, or 7'6". I actually, on that day when we went fishing, I said to Stu, he said, we're going to go blackfish fishing, can I pick you up in like 10 minutes? I was like, well, hang on, I got nothing ready. So I just grabbed one of my little whiting / squid rods, and I grabbed a 4,000 size reel, which I had just off a rod, and it was there. So I just grabbed that real quick. I threw it on my rod. A little bit unbalanced, but it doesn't matter.
But it worked.
It works. With 20-pound braid on it. 20-pound braid for blackfish, people say, you got to be joking.
I
I know.
But
So
really, that 20-pound braid is going to be thinner than, say, 6 or 8 or 10-pound mono.
That is true.
That would traditionally be used.
And there are braids these days that are so thin. Like we sell a few different brands. This one here, which is very, very thin, and this one here. So these guys, this is the same as this one here actually. So it's 20 pounds, the thickness of most thin 10-pound braids.
Yeah.
And some of the cheaper braids, this is thick as probably 4 to 6 pound braid.
Correct.
Which is thinner than most 6-pound mono. Okay, so it's really thin. So this reel also double up for mangrove jacks and snapper.
Yeah.
Also used for blackfish.
Can be used for blackfish or whiting.
Now, if you said that to blackfish fishermen back in my day, I'm like nearly 60 years old, but back in my day when I was like 14,
chased off the rock wall.
So what are the old guys with their Avon Royal centerpin reels would have thrown rocks in my face.
That's right. Just a real quick one with the line.
Yeah.
When you are using floats or anything like that, it is quite frustrating with normal monofilament line. It does sink and it can pull your floats under and it doesn't make them sit nicely, whereas braid is naturally buoyant, so it does float.
That's a good thing, Stu, but my line doesn't get time to sit and float because it gets pulled under straight away the fish on it. And we'll talk about that later if you see that. So, Stewie.
Nothing's changed.
So just to let you know a few things, the rig that we use. So I use a float stopper bead, which is this little bead right here, right? Can you see that, guys? And I can adjust that on my line. I'll just put the rod down here for a sec. Any depth that I want. So I just slide it along to whatever I want. Pull the line through here. You can see my float coming up here. And what happens is I set the depth, and when we're fishing that rock wall, we're casting a line up right into the whitewash. So, and the blackfish are feeding on any of that surge, and a bit of weed comes off the rock and falls down straight on the ledge. They're there to grab it.
They're there to grab it.
So we're setting it fairly shallow. Oops, I've hooked the bottom here, guys.
While Doug undoes that tangle, these are the little float stoppers. They do a few different sizes. Personally, we just use the large ones, or the extra large, because they're just bigger. They're easier to see. They don't get, the hole in the inside of a float stopper is all the same size.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right. So it just stops it from going down the float. So I set my float just over 1 metre, as you can see here. And as we said, talked about the split shot there. Sometimes you have more split shot depending on what sort of float you're using. And there's so many different floats as well. Thin ones, skinny ones, short ones, long ones, fat ones like me. Anyhow, but it's up to you guys. But yeah, more sinkers to get downstream. And I normally had it weighted, like I said before, at about just above the float sticking out of the water. So this much will be sticking out of the water. And as it gets pulled down by the fish, it goes under the water and you're on. But Stu's going to show us how to rig up the bait. Do you understand?
Yeah, just before that, Doug, I noticed that you've got a bit of a swivel going on here too, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to presume that this is heavier leader above the swivel than underneath.
That's right. So I'm using 10-pound fluorocarbon under here, Stu, because fluorocarbon's good on the rocks. It's tough.
Yeah.
Fish don't see it. And you're right, my knots are hard to break, but normally the line will break before the heavier 16-pound above it.
Yeah. So therefore you keep your float.
That's correct.
Even though we work at a tackle shop, we don't want people to lose too many floats.
That is correct. And one thing I like about these little knob ones is you can actually, if it does start floating away, you can sort of get your line, wrap it around it while it's drifting away and pull it back up to you.
Years of practice.
Years of practice, that is correct. That's correct. So Stu, do you want to put that bait on for us, mate?
Yep.
So Stu's got some cabbage weed here.
So we've got some cabbage weed.
Do you want the scissors to cut it, mate? You always cut my grass, Stewie.
Nah, mate.
Okay,
We're just going to run it as it is, el natural. So that's I use quite a big bit.
Yep.
I know that you don't, Dougie. You use a smaller bit, but I'll show you how I would rig this up first. So I just use like quite a big piece there. I kind of fold it in half. So I've got a like a bit more body to it. So I've folded it. I put the hook in at the top.
It's a chunky piece, Stu.
It's very chunky, but I'm after the big chunky fish. So I'm going to run the chunky weed. So I've just put it on like that. So you can see that hook just through the weed, and then I just fold it over again and put that hook back through, and then I push it up the hook. So that's me.
Wow, that's quite a big bait there, Stuart.
It's a big bait, but I just find that they really, if you miss one, they come back because there's still a little bit left. But I know, Dougie, you fish a smaller piece.
I definitely fish a smaller piece, Stuart, and I could say a lot of comments, but I won't. I'll be nice to you.
Here you go. I'll rig a Doug bait. I'll rig a Doug bait.
Okay.
So I've got a much smaller piece. So this is nearly one leaf. A little bit shriveled up. That's okay. I'll put it through up the top.
I might put a little bit more than that on, but that's pretty close to it. And the other day, Stu was using big baits, I was using little baits. I was getting big fish, I was getting more fish with little baits. Stu was getting no fish. Or some fish, I got some fish, sorry, little fish.
I was
on the big baits.
Yeah. So that's a more...
actually...
how would you do it, Doug?
Okay, I'll just
Considering you don't have your glasses, you're a very brave man.
I know.
Playing with that.
I'll go a bit more off the rocks here. I'll probably just go... I just sort of grab it, guys, and just go through and through and through. And round and round and round, so it just makes like a multi piece. Wrap it around. I sort of thread it, like twist it around, dig it through, twist it around, dig it through. I think that's the secret that Stu didn't know about, but now he knows. And it's like that.
And I reckon the mass of that bait is about the same size as the one that I just done.
With no tail. No tail's the secret. They can trim away this little edge here, you know, this little edge is here, little edge here. Anyhow, but that's it. So as I say before, we cast it out. The float stopper bead hits the top there, it's a metre down, and it's sitting on the surface like this at this height, and then you'll see the fish lift it. Sometimes lift it up, sometimes down, like I said before. Yeah. Then they'll pull it down. It's up to you. We're going to strike, as you said earlier, Stuart. 1, 2, 3, whichever you like. And just another comment I like to say is, if you're fishing in those really calm days or still days where there's not much surge on the rocks, you need to adjust your depth deeper. They're down deeper.
Definitely.
They're a little bit shy.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you adjust your slide up. You pull this little slide here up the line as far as you want. You can take it up 4 metres if the water's 4 metres deep. Drop it out. If it sits like that, you've gone too far up. You've put your slide too far up because it's sitting on the bottom.
Your sinker's sitting on the
bottom.
bottom.
So you need it to go like that. So to do that, you just adjust the slide back down to whatever depth you want, and away you go again.
Float will come up.
That's it, and hit it. And anything else you want to add to that, Stuart, what we did the other day?
I think that's about it. It's very accessible. You can do it out of a boat like we done and fish back to the rocks, or you can fish on the rocks, off the rocks.
Yep.
So anyone can do it.
Yeah, it's great fun. Years ago, we used to fish a little jetty platform, and we fished the rocks, and it was straight there in front of you. Like the float was like right there in front of you, sort of thing, right here.
Yeah.
And obviously down at water level, and it was amazing. And it still happens these days. It happened the other day. As soon as that stopper hits the float, it just keeps going down with the downer.
Yeah.
And geez, they fight hard. Stu likes to eat them, not bad eating.
Yeah,
I don't mind eating too, breadcrumbs, not too bad.
Definitely need to bleed them and skin them after you clean them.
Yes.
If you do want to eat them, but they're not too bad.
Yeah. And fighting factor out of 10, Stewie?
I reckon
on light gear?
Solid 9.8.
Solid 9.8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing's perfect.
There you go, guys. There's Stewie's fighting factor. Okay, good on you, Stewie. Oh, net. Because we're talking about net.
That's right. We're talking all things floating, so this is a floating net. So if you're off the rocks and you get a big surge come up, at least you can recover your net.
And if you throw your hook right, you'll be able to hook this and bring it back. But yeah, and then untangle it. But guys, you need to net these things. They have an uncanny way of wiggling.
They roll
and wiggle, and they wiggle off your hook. So you need to net any of those bigger bad boys that you get.
Yeah.
That's about it. So we got floats, we got split shot lead, assorted sizes, size 8 to 10 hooks, preferably short shank. Don't use long shank. Float stopper beads, small swivels about a 8 crane or a 10 barrel, 10 pound fluorocarbon leader, and line guys 6 pound mono up to very thin braid. And very light tip rod, small reel, LV, whatever. I've used bait casters, I've used everything and caught them. So there is no special reel for LV fishermen unless you're one of those antique LV fishermen, which are good guys, by the way. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, good luck. Get out there and go catch yourself some blackfish, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for Second Wheel. True, guys. Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you.
Pleasure, mate.
Bye.